Good morning. I want to begin today by telling you a little story about a young man, 18-year-old Antonio Gwynn. Antonio is a recently graduated high school senior in Buffalo, New York, one who has been known for volunteering at his former elementary school and his church. 2 years ago, Antonio's mother died, and so when George Floyd was murdered, Antonio, who knows as a young black man what it is to be judged by the color of his skin and also knows what it is to lose someone that you love dearly, was greatly affected. And so when the protests began in Buffalo, he was there. He protested on one day for more than 16 hours. He was out, always peacefully but demanding that justice be done, that justice happen, that our society change and fix the things that are wrong in our society. Then he went home to the place where he was living to get a few hours rest. He was getting ready to move. For the first time in his life, he would actually be living out on his own, renting a place from his aunt, and he had a U-Haul truck that he was going to use to take the materials and the stuff that he had to move to his new place. But when he got home, he began flipping through his cell phone like so many of us do. He was looking at the news, seeing what was going on with the protests that he had just left, and he discovered that they had turned violent. That windows were getting smashed and rubber bullets were being fired, and there was all kinds of debris going to be cluttering up the streets. And Antonio had to decide, how was he going to respond? We can imagine an 18-year-old might respond by going right back down there to get involved in the midst of it, to engage in some of the violence himself. But Antonio didn't do that. And I tell you what, I'll let you see the news report and you can see exactly what Antonio did.
It's the caught on camera moment that's gone viral for all the right reasons.
I decided to go buy 2 boxes of trash bags. I grabbed my broom and a dustpan, and I just started heading out to clean up the mess.
Buffalo, New York high school senior Antonio Gwynn Jr. was photographed cleaning up his neighborhood all night after recent racial protests.
I also care about the city, so I would just help when I can and wherever I can help.
His simple but profound gesture caught the eye and camera lens of neighbor Nicole Hopkins.
I couldn't believe somebody so young risked his life to be out there, basically, to do the right thing, to help the community.
She posted about Antonio's good deed on Facebook, saying he's been out there since 2 a.m. Make this go viral.
Within a day, I had over 13,000 shares and over 2,000 comments on the one post. And the comments alone were, how can I send him some money? How can I do something for him?
And soon, the support began pouring in.
This is nice.
Yeah.
First, a set of wheels. Then, free car insurance and thousands of dollars in donations. Even a scholarship from a local college.
I will major in business because I would like to own my own company when I get older. Well, actually, a few companies when I get older.
And just this morning, Antonio was honored by Buffalo's mayor.
What he did is exceptional.
For Antonio, who lost his mother just 2 years ago, his actions are a point of pride and a pathway towards a promising future.
I do believe my mom would be proud of me right now.
In 1 Peter 3, Peter tells us, finally, all of you have unity of spirit, sympathy, love for one another, a tender heart, and a humble mind. Do not repay evil for evil or abuse for abuse, but on the contrary, repay with a blessing. It is for this that you are called, that you might inherit a blessing. I think we can all agree that Antonio Gwynn demonstrated all of those things, a unity of spirit. He was unified with those who were protesting, but he also was unified with those who were going to need to go to work the next day. He was full of sympathy for them both, love for them, certainly has a tender heart and a humble mind. He didn't mind going out there and working for 10 hours cleaning up the streets. And in response, and this doesn't always happen, of course, when we do good, but in response, he did receive an inheritance. The one man who gave him the car said, I knew I didn't want to sell my car. It meant too much to me. I wanted to use it for something better. And when he saw that story, he knew that the car should go to Antonio. What's amazing that he did not know was Antonio's mother had a red 2004 Mustang. And so he thinks about his mother every time he sees that car. The college that is giving him a 4-year scholarship is a college in Buffalo, and they said, we saw in this young man exactly the kind of character that we want our students to have, and we realized he could be a leader on campus. And so we are reminded this day that it's one thing to complain about riots and looting or complain about things that are going on out there in the wider world, but it's another thing entirely to say, I'm going to do something positive about it, not repaying evil for evil, but finding a way to offer a blessing. How this day can you offer a blessing? For indeed, God has blessed us. God blessed us, as the scripture says, Christ died for us while we were yet sinners. How can we go out and offer a blessing, maybe even to those who do not deserve it? I encourage you to do that, because if you do so, as Peter promises, you will receive an inheritance. It may not be a red Mustang and a college scholarship. It may be the satisfaction of knowing that you have done the work of God, but you will receive an inheritance. And you will know in an even more powerful way that God is with us.